finally, this is one of the most requested complete nutrition products that I've been asked to review on my channel. I've taken a while to get here, but here we are, the Huel Black Edition. So we're going to be taking a look at this, finding out what's in it, what the nutritional value is, what it tastes like, and fundamentally, what's the difference between this and this. So without further ado, let's check it out. So I've been testing and reviewing complete nutrition drinks for over 8 years, and Huel was one of the first complete nutrition products I ever tasted. In fact, they were the ones that sort of got me on this path of looking into kind of complete nutrition. And since then, I'd like to think that complete nutrition products have gone mainstream. I mean, recently, I went to a supermarket and picked up at least 4 different types of complete nutrition product. A few years ago, you wouldn't see them in supermarket shelves. You might see them on sort of health store shelves, but mostly you had to buy them online. But Huel has been one of the first sort of major products to be seen regularly in the supermarket. And I picked this up at my local supermarket, and you can pick these up. And the great thing about that is you don't have to go online and spend at least 50 quid, and order 24 bottles or something as a minimum requirement. You can now just pick these off the shelf. Sometimes they're in the meal deal section, which I think is great. The point is, Huel is a lot easier to kind of get and pick up. And Huel Black Edition was always their kind of elite version of their complete nutrition products, aimed at the gym bro, I guess, because it's much higher in protein. This has got 35 grams of protein. Your standard has got 20 grams of protein. So it's much more focused on giving you more protein, and it comes at a slightly more premium price, which we'll look at. In terms of nutrients, of course, if you look on the site, you're getting, as I said, the 35 grams of protein per bottle, 26 vitamins and minerals, which is what you sort of tend to get with nearly all complete nutrition products. It's 100% nutritionally complete, so they claim, but then that's the same with most complete nutrition products. It is a meal. It's not a protein drink, although I happen to see in supermarkets next to these are loads of protein drinks. And you still get those questions from people who see you drinking it, thinking you're some sort of gym bro down in your protein drink, as I have to sort of constantly remind people, it's not a protein drink. It's a complete nutrition product. It's a complete meal, right? This is your lunch. It just so happens it's a lunch high in protein. Huel, as many of these companies do claim, there's 172 science-backed benefits. And you can check out the benefits on the website if you want to delve into that. In terms of ingredients, you've got here pea protein, flaxseed, tapioca, faba bean. They call it faba bean. I think that's just fava bean. Remember old Hannibal Lecter serving up a nice sort of bit of human kidney with a bit of fava beans, or broad bean. And that's one of the main differences here. If I look in the ingredients on both these things, you've got water, pea protein. So far, so good. In this one, then you've got tapioca starch. But this one, you've got water, pea protein, and then your fava bean protein. Fava bean. It's fava, not faba bean. Then your tapioca starch. That seems to be the main difference. Then you've got coconut milk powder, ground flaxseed, coconut sugar. So there's coconut sugar in this one. You don't have that in this. But the sweetener is steviol, and the sweetener in here is sucralose. So this is a natural sweetener. I always find stevia a bit strong, so it'll be interesting to see what it tastes like. And in this one, it's sucralose. So I know some people are very anti-sucralose as a sweetener, so maybe stevia, natural stevia is an option. But it's interesting that they've got an element of coconut sugar in here as well, which I don't have a problem with. In fact, I prefer coconut sugar than a sweetener, to be honest, like stevia or sucralose. But there you go. So that seems to be the fundamental difference. But the biggest, as I say, so apart from, some of the ingredients being a little bit more premium, the biggest thing, of course, is that protein, that extra protein, 35 grams of protein, which is driven mostly, as I said, by the addition of the fava bean protein. I'm going to say fava bean. I'm not saying faba bean or fava bean, but the fava bean protein in here. If we look at the nutritional breakdown here, per bottle, you're getting 17 grams of fat, 23 grams of carbohydrate, 6 grams of fiber, and your 35 grams of protein. So in that kind of fat, carbs, protein sort of pie chart, protein is a lot bigger and carbs are less than you would normally get in, say, your normal Huel, which is giving you 19 grams of fat, 34 grams of carbs, 6 grams of fiber, and 20 grams. So the difference there, 23 grams of carbs, 34 grams of carbs, 20 grams of protein, 35 grams of protein. So that nutritional ratio leans much more towards the protein and less on the carbs, which for some people is a good thing. And if you're trying to sort of get more protein in your body, whether you're a gym bro or if you're an older gentleman like myself, we've got to up our protein intake. So that could be a good solution. Anyway, let's give it a shake, find out what it tastes like. I've not always been a massive fan of Huel, I'll be honest, even though it's probably one of the biggest brands in Europe, certainly in the UK. It's one of the biggest brands. And as I said, it's probably one of the most accessible brands because it's everywhere now. It's in supermarkets. Most of the supermarket chains stock it. Oh, yeah, you're getting that's a very different smell, actually. I do buy these occasionally from Tesco's as I'm sort of, cruising by. This is a very different smell. I can't quite work it out. It feels more of a natural vanilla smell. There's something a bit artificially about the vanilla smell in this one, but that's interesting. It tastes a bit sweeter. It also tastes a bit thicker than this in a nice way. Yeah, there's a weird... I always find stevia is very sweet. And I don't think they've used very much of it because often you get that aftertaste, which is a big turn off for me, especially with a lot of Huel products. I often find there's a kind of sweetener aftertaste, and stevia sometimes is a culprit of that. But I think what they've done is balance it with the coconut sugar. Coconut sugar doesn't really have an aftertaste. It has a sort of sweet taste. So I think they balance the sweetness between that coconut sugar and stevia, which I like, although I'm beginning to get a slight aftertaste there. But it's that smell. It just, yeah. It's a delicate balance they've got here on the sweetness side, and the vanilla does come through. There is a little bit of aftertaste, but I can't quite, there's a sort of dryness to it as well, which is weird. I think it may be the sort of the added element of protein. It might be that fava bean. Sometimes with protein drinks, there's a weird taste. I know it's not protein drink, but it has more protein in it. It feels it tastes very different than your standard Huel. And I can't work out whether I prefer it or not. I think I do. There's a sort of more natural, fresh taste to it. No, not fresh. As I said, the sweetness works well without being too overbearing. Maybe the sweetness is a little bit too strong in this. This one is sort of less sweet. I think that's what it is. You're getting that vanilla flavor, but overall it feels less sweet, which is a bit of a surprise when it comes to Huel because sometimes I find this sweetness too much. But I think that's why it works well. Yeah, I could go with that. I can report it does taste different than your standard Huel. As I said, I can't quite work out whether I prefer it or not because it is very different. It's just, I like them both, or at least I like them on the sort of the same level. They're just very different in their taste. So I certainly could get by with this, but of course it is more expensive. You're paying for that protein. This is the sort of the prime version of the Huel collection, as it were. Let's have a look at the price. So if you subscribe, you save 10%. It's £41 for 12 bottles, or a one-time only, it's £45.50 for 12 bottles. In the shops, you'll find this. This is more like sort of £3.75 or something like that, closer to £4. Whereas this tends to be about £3.50 if you buy it in the shops. One of the biggest criticisms I ever had of Huel is you had to usually order like 2 lots of stuff, spend over like 50 quid, and you might not even know if you like the stuff, and you're having to spend like 50 quid just to find out whether this stuff works for you. And I've had people on my comments complain, I bought this stuff and it tasted crap, I have to throw it away and I spent 50 quid. And it's like, well, taste is subjective. But the great thing, as I said, is you can find these in supermarkets and you only have to try 1 bottle. So you can try it. And it's still less than most meal deals. And you're getting a lot more protein and sort of healthy nutrients and ingredients and vitamin minerals in this than you're going to get in that meal deal. Anyway, there you go. Finally got round to it. It's a weird one. Yeah. I think I like it. I know that's not very... my mind's still processing the taste, but that is the Huel Black Edition. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. Let me know, have you tried Huel? Do you prefer the Huel Black Edition or the Huel OG? Put it in the comments down below. And of course, hit the likes because I like it, YouTube likes it, and it helps people like you find content just like this. And of course, if you're new to my channel, in fact, if you're not new, maybe you've watched loads of my videos, but you've never subscribed, now is the time. Please hit that subscribe button, toggle that notification bell, and that way you'll know when I upload videos just like this. Talking videos just like this, why don't you check out these videos on complete nutrition products right here? Yeah, these ones here. Thanks for watching.